Two billionaires have entered the chat on being the next owner of the Boston Celtics. It's been a couple of months since Wyc Grousbeck dropped a bomb on us saying, hey, look, I got a for sale sign right out front in TD Garden. Let's see who the highest bidder's going to be. Not to mention, Wyc Grousbeck wants to make this the highest sale in sports history set at over $6 billion right now. So I want to talk about who those two billionaires are and what they want to do with the Boston Celtics. But before I hop into that, let's hear from you guys. Who do you want to own the Celtics next? Drop any billionaire's name in the comment section down below that you think would be a good fit for the Celtics' next ownership group in the comment section. While I give you guys the latest update on who possibly is in the running to own Boston. All right, here is what Bill Simmons had to say on the latest update, and he said, I happen to have a bunch of information on this because this is a huge, huge topic right now. I don't care about being aggregated about this because I'm right. In the last few days, there's been some, I think, legitimate buzz about Jeff Bezos buying the Celtics, and I think it's real. I think he's going to, which got me thinking, Jeff Bezos, when he's looking at the Celtics, what is he seeing? What does he want? And I think the only way it makes sense is that it's one of the crown jewel franchises. That's why you get it. To him, it would be no different than if you bought this famous, gigantic $300 million yacht. But I think it's real that he's potentially in the mix for this. Number one, how great would it be to just think that buying a $300 million yacht would be just like buying groceries throughout the week? Number two, I realize how cheap I am. And number three, why would Jeff Bezos want to own the Boston Celtics? He already is the owner of Amazon. He's got more than $12 billion in this world, but he's looking to make a little bit extra when it comes to buying a franchise. If you guys don't know who Jeff Bezos is, do not worry. We're going to break it down right here because what would it look like for Bezos to come to Boston? He's the founder and executive chairman of Amazon, which he has taken plenty of my own money. Thank you, Mr. Amazon. Founder of Blue Origin and owner of the Washington Post, and he's the second richest man in the world at $216.5 billion via Forbes. So now, if you're looking to buy the Boston Celtics for $6 billion, he could buy, 25 Boston Celtics franchises. But in reality, I'm looking at a guy like Jeff Bezos and the money that he does have to afford the Celtics. I think that overall, this ends up being a pretty good bidder for the Boston Celtics. You got to think about how much money the Celtics have coming in their payroll and what they're about to do over the next 5 years. And we've already seen that Jeff Bezos has made somewhat of an intriguing path to try and obtain a sports franchise, which was the Washington Commanders back in 2023, which is the, right now, highest sale ever for a sports franchise, which sold at about $6 billion. But the reason why I think Boston Celtics fans should actually be pretty psyched that somebody like Jeff Bezos would be interested in the Boston Celtics is because you just saw his net worth. You just saw how much this man is worth. He is 110% going to be able to uphold all of the promises the Celtics have made to their players over the course of the next 5 years. This is what it takes when you've got two of the highest paid players in the NBA on the same roster. Bezos has the financial stability to afford this really high payroll. Not to mention, they are the best team in the NBA, which means there's more success to come if you continue with this path that they have already started. And I do think that in the long run, I'm talking a long-term plan here, he could probably provide a lot of improvements to TD Garden. Maybe make it something like a Madison Square Garden. Get a lot of concerts in there. Get maybe even a WNBA team in Boston. I think Jeff Bezos has the money to be able to set a foundation for the Celtics, not just for that franchise, but maybe even create another franchise in Boston because I wouldn't know what to do with that much money, but I've got a good idea. So before I hop into the second billionaire that's entered into the chat or maybe a bombshell into the villa, do you want Jeff Bezos as the next Celtics owner? Type Y for yes, type N for No. Let me know in the comment section down below why you guys are thinking about whether or not to bring Bezos to Boston. Let me tell you about our sponsor here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm talking about Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I'm playing it. Producer Reed's playing it. Everybody at Chat Sports is playing it. Here's why you guys should too. #1, it is the easiest app I have on my phone. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can earn up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And if you're looking for promotions, oh baby, Prize Picks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back. If you have a losing lineup on Fridays, they call it Flex Friday. Well, right now, there is no Boston Celtics game, and we're still waiting on the New England Patriots season to start. So I've got the WNBA and the MLB locked and loaded. Sabrina, Breanna Stewart, take the more on them. That is my advice. Sabrina is going nutty right now in the second half of the WNBA season. Not to mention Breanna Stewart. She's got to fight for rebounds with Jonquel Jones, but you know Stewie is going to find her way to the board. Plus, I got Trevor Rogers going to have more than 4 pitcher strikeouts. I just went to a Rangers game this last weekend, and I loved watching this in real time. But my motto is, I always pick more. Life's too short. You guys can play however you guys want, but I have won over $615 playing Prize Picks. So, yeah, I know a thing or two. So if you guys want to go ahead and test your skills, all you have to do is download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks. Run your game. There is another bombshell in the villa, and it is unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, the Fenway Sports Group. They were named as a possible contender to be the next owner of the Boston Celtics, and this is not the news that Boston Celtics fans really want to hear, especially because a lot of Celtics fans are also Boston Red Sox fans, and I think you guys know where I'm going. Not to mention a weird little quirk in this with the Fenway Sports Group joining in the conversation is that LeBron James has a 1% stake in FSG. So, if so facto, LeBron James, owner of the Celtics, doesn't sound really good to me. But thankfully, there's a lot of fine print. There's a lot of loopholes, which probably won't make that happen. But nonetheless, when I'm looking at somebody like the Fenway Sports Group, I just don't like their vibes. I just don't like what they have to offer to a team. They are currently the owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Boston Red Sox, a couple of soccer teams as well. They're looking to bring an NBA franchise right now to Vegas. Before they did something like that, they would definitely look around and say, hey, you know, is there anywhere closer we could possibly get an NBA team under our belt? Oh, look, Fenway Sports Group, we found one right around the corner. It's the Boston Celtics. They are the world's most valuable sports empires at $12.95 billion. So they could also afford the Boston Celtics like we afford groceries Monday through Friday. But I don't want the Fenway Sports Group. Why? Because I just don't think that they're good for the franchise. But let's get back to the LeBron James thing here, because that doesn't sit right with me. I know LeBron James has handed the Celtics a loss a number of times in his career. I don't want him to be the owner of the Celtics. But the good news is, per NBA rules, James can't gain an ownership stake in a team while he's an active player. He's entering in his 22nd year in the NBA, so maybe after, yeah, but when all that's said and done, you know, Michael Jordan, he was the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. Nobody cares really after you're not a player anymore about who you own. You're just trying to make some money in your retirement. But here's why I personally don't want the Fenway Sports Group to be the owner of the Boston Celtics. I know a lot of you guys are probably Red Sox fans, so you're pretty aware that they have projected declines for teams' payroll spending. It's going down about 5% on what they want to spend on their players. Number one, that's just not going to fly with the Celtics payroll. They have made so many promises for next 5 years to spend over $200 million. You can't have somebody that's like, we want to cut spending here. That's not going to work out. Plus, they have an overwhelming amount of boos at home games. They're sounding like the Oakland A's, and that's what you don't want when it comes to your ownership. Sox fans aren't happy. The last thing you want in the city of Boston are pissed off Red Sox fans and pissed off Boston Celtics fans. There would be riots in the street. I just don't think they fit the mold of the Boston Celtics, and that's my reasoning. If you guys are Red Sox fans, you already know. But I've given you a little background, so here's my next question for you guys. Pick somebody to be the next owner of the Boston Celtics. If you guys like Mr. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, type JB in the comment section down below. If for some reason you want the Fenway Sports Group, type FSG, let me know. Or if you want somebody else, some other person to come in here and swoop them up and take over the Boston Celtics, go on ahead, type other in the comment section down below.